Hello, peeps. It's your girl, Ozie Jiofo. Ijele. I don't know if it's Jimono, I don't know before she is Diego Gadasisia. The daughter of Norwegian people, the one whose flash of her teeth brings out money from your pockets. So I'll share you a story. Parents need to be careful whom their children follow, eat, drink, wine, and dine with. It's very important. If you know my background, like I used to say, I grew up in the ghetto. I was born in the ghetto and raised in the ghetto. So there was no kind of lifestyle that I did not see and experience. It's just that I grew up to be an Ajebo because my mom made me so. Let me give you a story. Where I grew up, in Gentadamu in Jos, we had different things there. We had different kinds of witchcrafts. You see, as Asaba people now, or the Delta Lights, as then they do their own witchcraft. Their witchcraft over there have kada, right? There are small, medium, big, old kadas in their kind of witchcraft. The same thing it is with Plateau. Plateau have different kadas for witchcraft. We have people like that are Jidenna size. Jidenna is 4+, 4.5. We have people of his size whom during the day they are normal children, but at night they become real mad witches. You know, they move at night, they do different things. I remember my neighbor, just opposite neighbor, who, very big guy. He was married to the sister of this little baby. We call this little child Kankanwa. She's the last in the family. But behold, she was so strong. She was so strong, a real big witch. This Mario, his name is Mario, yes, the guy she killed. This Mario is one heavyweight guy like that. Very big, hefty. Everything. He was married to the senior sister of this Kankanwa. But little did we know that in their coven, so to say, that Kankanwa is a very, very big witch. Very big one. And the day she was confessing to these atrocities, Obodo Dere Jinjim, you know, she killed that Mario who was married to her elder sister. And people were shocked. People were shocked that they did not even believe it. But because it's a usual thing, get me right and get me correctly. Because it was a usual thing. Once in a while, witches are caught around my area. Once in a while. When we're going to school, there was this Benue woman. She's a native doctor. So once in a while, like every week, hers is on Wednesdays, she catches the witches. So what she does is, she brings out, I'll tell you how they are caught, then return back to the story of Kankanwa. She brings out a samba. This samba that the cherubim use as their band. That's what she uses, that woman. I think she's either Idoma or Kogi, thereabout. But she's from Benue area. Then she plays this samba, back. It happened before me, so it's not like I'm telling you stories. She will play this samba with her workers. You won't see anything. Believe me, you won't see where any witch is coming out from. But they are seeing that the witches are gathering. They are seeing that the witches are gathering. They've come to dance and eat. And they usually came stark naked. Stark naked. I've never seen anyone that we were watching that was wearing any clothes at all. So once this samba stops, you will just see old people. Old, aged people, both the ones without teeth in their mouths, but the ones with teeth. But, oh man, there is no young person like me there. For real. I've never seen that woman catch any young person like me, except the newly initiated, but they are not as like my age. They are usually very old, say from 50 and above. That's the kind of witches that come out, both female and male. Once she ends the samba, you will just see old people. You will just see old people from left, right, everywhere around. Some will be coming down from the tree. There's a mango tree in front of that woman's house. If you live in Busa Abuji, you will definitely know the woman I am talking about, so that people will not think this is a fairy tale or some stories that never happened. It happened 100%. And not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 10 times, because it's the road to my school. But on Wednesdays, she will catch witches. So when this samba stops and the witches come out from their various channels, you'll just see her. There's something on the fire that she usually puts on the fire. I don't know what that is. But the thing will be on the fire there, boiling. Then when these witches come out, when the samba stops, they now realize that they are naked. Makachuku, that thing that happened to Adam and Eve, you will just realize that somebody is trying to cover breast and the private areas. You would see that the person is seeing people, and the person knows that he's not in the right place or she's not in the right place at that moment, because all the witches are usually naked, but people watching them are wearing clothes, and the samba has stopped, so their eyes are open now physically, and they are realizing that they are already caught, and they don't know how to disappear from the scene because they are already caught. So the woman now sits them down, the old aged people. Hey, if you see these people that I'm telling you about, I just cannot forget the memory. That's why I decided to share this. Maybe the woman would have died now, or maybe she's still alive. But if she's still alive, she would have been very old, because what I'm talking about, I was still in GSS 3, SS1, SS2, SS3. So this thing I'm talking about is very sequential. It's not like it happened just once or 1 year or 2 years. No. It happened sequentially until I finished secondary school in Tempest, Jos. So now, she would now begin to ask them questions according to their kada. That's how I knew that the witches have kada. Then they will now start calling the people that they've killed. And I hear story. He or she will start calling the people that they've killed. Of course, we don't know whom they are. But the people who live around, who either stay near them, because the witches around are just the witches around. I don't know how to classify this, but that woman catches witches every Wednesday. Then she will now start to either give them something to drink and bait them with some substance. I think just to remove the witchcraft powers that they possess in killing people, because they've been killing and eating people, according to her. When she catches them, she will say, this one have been eating and killing people. Amen. You will see the teeth, they are not brushed, they are so dark, they are so brown, they are so creamy. In fact, it's terrible. So that's how I know that witches have kada when they are caught. Then this is one part of it. The second part of it is, remember where this story started from? It started from my neighbor, the small little girl like Jidenna. She was between 3 and 4 years because she started talking. She talks well. Oh, we can talk Jidenna. She may be a senior to Jidenna because she really talks well and very smart. But that smartness, we don't know that there was something attached to it. That really spiritually, that girl was a big person spiritually. Until that's her killing of a couple of people, we had Idris. Idris was in her compound, and she was the one who killed Idris. Hey, I can the gist very well. Idris was a small, smart boy like that, living in the same compound with their Kankanwa. And Mama Musa, is it Mama Musa's child that is Idris? I don't know, I can't remember very well, but Idris was living in the same compound. So it was when Idris died that I don't know what happened. Who came? I don't know really what happened. They now discovered that the witch that was killing various people in... Yes, then we had another lady, a big lady like that, Madam C5's daughter. Wait, what's her name? What's her name again? Right, I've forgotten her name. So they just classified that small Kankanwa as the killer of various people. So until she started confessing to the amount of people that she has killed in the neighborhood. These are my neighbors. People were shocked. But guess what? This is the reason I started doing this video, for you to be careful. The kind of friends and pals and associates and I don't know if we can be careful with classmates, but we can at least be careful with the kind of things that happen around our children, so that we don't think things are natural and ordinary, and then before you know it, you're losing a child. When they now started asking, it's not only Kankanwa that was caught in my neighborhood. Jide, I don't want that noise, please. It's not... Take that thing away, please. It's not only Kankanwa that was caught in my compound, in my neighborhood. Kankanwa was caught in my neighborhood as much as another set of witches behind my house. When they were now asked whom their most senior is, like who lured them into witchcrafting, guess what? There was a girl living behind Rafi. Rafi is a stream that divided us, Jenta Adamu and Gadabio. The girl used to come to my area very well. And the girl likes me silly. She likes me silly. I don't know if we were of the same age, or if she was slightly more of a senior with some few years than myself. But all I know is that that girl, she's not a lady. She was a girl. So we were almost Ubo. If we were classified, we would be classified as age grades. You know? But maybe she's a bit of my senior, because they don't grow so tall. If you're from Plateau, Nyango precise, they are not so tall. So she's just brief, but I think she's my senior. But she likes me a lot, and she comes to my compound, and then we just talk and play around. But I know she likes me a lot. You know, there are people you will see, you know that you and this person gel. Me and the girl just gel. And when they were asking these little children that were caught in witchcraft or witchcrafting, they now said it was the girl who lured them in. Yay! Oh, Tio. Aye. Wallahi, this didn't sound funny at all. It didn't sound funny at all. When the girl's name was mentioned, is it Rebecca? Rebecca or Deborah? Deborah or Rebecca? I don't know either of the two names. That's the girl's name. They now called her name. She lives just after the Rafi. And you climb, you could see their house standing from at the hill, because, you know, our area was so hilly. So you can actually call her name from across the stream, and she will answer you. They just said it was the girl who lured them into the witchcraft stuff. Hey! I just... you know, there are some things that when they happen, meeting, I just sat down on my own and started thinking, hold on, no. It is sure now maybe more amos. You know? So questions begin to crawl out, like, how do they initiate people? How do they initiate people? So that was when we discovered that the initiation processes were of different kinds. There are some who give items, edibles. There are some who just inflict injuries. Factual and not fiction stories, real and not fake. So there are some who inflict. You'll be wondering, what's happening here? What kind of mark is this? It's not so easy. It's not just an ordinary kind of mark. Let's be careful what we see on our children's bodies. So they now started explaining how those initiation processes were carried out. Parents need to be really, really careful. Don't take anything for granted, really. Especially with edibles, with gifts as well. Yes, they also mentioned gifts. That time, what was really reigning then in boarding schools was Madame Koi Koi. I don't know if that Madame Koi Koi thing was a fiction or was it a reality. But I know for some hostels who suffered a lot of witchcraft powers, when the children dismisses from school and comes home, we used to see various marks, various inscriptions on their bodies. And parents were really worried, and they started, calling the school authorities to be careful what this is, what that is. People who knew what it was started explaining themselves. People who didn't know started being careful of what they know nothing about. So then it was Madame Koi Koi that was reigning. But little did we know that Madame Koi Koi's own was even a preamble. Isioji the wicked. That the small witchcrafts that people possessed inside them and were luring people inside it were even so much that people didn't know about. We were only concentrating on Madame Koi Koi. And these little lads who were introduced into those covens were so used, because that Kankanwa was looking at everybody like she didn't know what was what they were talking about. But Abiyawa, when that person who was catching them starts asking them questions, they begin to mention the names of the people that they've killed. And really, in real life, those people are dead. They actually are dead. They will mention names, even the ones that were forgotten. You will not even know that these small girls have been in the witchcraft stuff for 3-5 years. 3-5 years and counting. You'll be shocked and surprised that really, this little girl, as little as she is, she's been in this for more than 3-4-5 years. Wow, you'll be surprised. So when they were asked how they got induced into it, they mentioned the name of that my girlfriend. Hey, the friends to the girl, because the girl is very jovial and nice. The friends to the girl who were closer to the girl. There were people who were closer to the girl even than myself, because I don't used to stay home all the time. I go to school Mondays to Fridays. On Saturdays, I go to my mom's shop. Then on Sundays, I'm at home. So each time the girl wanted to see me, she would come to the house on Sunday. And that Sunday, too, I used to take time to, look at my books, do my assignments, wash my clothes, iron them for school against Monday. So I hardly had time to talk with the girl so much. When she comes, she just hangs around and stays for like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. So we never ever had one-on-one of sitting down, holistically to discuss or chat. So when they now started expressing that it was that girl who lured them into witchcrafting, hey, I refused to tell my mom that I know the girl, by the way. But I was also scared of myself, I was scared for myself, rather. I was very, very scared for myself. Oh, me wuro na ma bagukwe na amosu nwane kwokwe without even knowing. So when they started also expressing how they go carry out this witchcrafting wickedness, because they were really asked extensive questions. Some said they fly. Some said they crawl. Some said they turn to animals. Hey, yeah? Nothing person no go here for this Nigeria. Some said they turned into animals. Do you know? Some said they turned into ants. Ants. That's why nothing creepy ever enters my house and leaves. From then till now. Iho soryanya burunwe ihe na ari. But out of them, na me are free. Once you come into my house, I must kill you. Must. Hey, oh my God. When the little girls, the little children that were caught in witchcraft started expressing how they travel round and how they kill their prey. Hey! People were shocked. Are you kidding me that somebody can turn into a rat and come into your house? Because then, what was also raining was Okeamosu. Yes, what was raining in Jos then was Okeamosu. I don't know if it was raining any other places, but in Jos, in my area, the Oke will be target for gone, like the rat will eat your leg, eat it, and you will not even feel any pain. The rat will eat and blow you some breeze, eat and blow you some breeze, like crazily. And people started wearing socks. People started wearing socks. You know? I hope you all can still hear me. People started wearing socks, you know, when they want to sleep. Because people started becoming really scared of a foolish rat coming in and eating up your leg, and you wouldn't know. When these children were asked how they carry out their killing strategy, a lot of them now said the pressing of people. That was when a lot of people stopped sleeping in the afternoon around my area. At noon, once you slept, at noon, 12, 1 and 2, you will be pressed. It was a terrible scenario, you know. When people now started lamenting, Kaya, and then Nenifa, people will come out and say, I was pressed, I was sleeping, I was pressed, I was sleeping, I was pressed. So they now strategize of not sleeping like this, you know. Of not sleeping like this, that people will now have to either sleep like this or sleep backwards and not bend your leg while sleeping, no matter the position. So you would have to sleep either by the side or facing ground, but not facing up entirely. So my things they well. Then, even though I was naive and was even thinking that all these things I am saying now were fairy tale, because me, these were my neighbors, at least one of the child who killed several people, according to the whole confession she made, was a direct neighbor of mine. And when asked how many people she had initiated, she said no, her cadre hadn't gotten to the initiation. Oh no, she initiated one in my compound. Lily, yes. Linda. Linda. She initiated one in my compound. So, but what I don't know is the aftermath of Lily's own. Whether Lily had started doing her own or whether it was still new for her, I don't know. But Kankanwa was her senior in the witchcraft cadre. Then the senior of Kankanwa was that girl who wanted to be my friend by all means. It was the girl who was initiating the little children in my area. So the little children who were able to kill and suck and make sure that they qualify to be able to initiate others, started progressing in initiating others. So the new ones who were initiated in my compound, I don't know whether they started soaring before I left Jos. Yes, because it was after I left that I now heard that Lily was actually initiated from the Kankanwa. And then when they started counting how many people that Kankanwa has killed, small girl, oh, like Jidenna, I'm not kidding. Ezioku Jidenna Kadiogo, but it's just that she's a senior to Jide because she talks well, but very small girl. But spiritually, she was so big. She was mighty, very big. So what am I trying to say? Parents must be guarded in guiding their children, in knowing their friends, in putting them in prayers, in understanding what they eat in school, like in my own Jidenna school. They are not lured into sharing of stuff because they eat in school. So I give him food from home. The school also feed him at noon. So they don't even have cause to eat from people. Now he has a biscuit, he has a yogurt in his bag, he has water in his bag, he has his flask in his bag, then he has another food in the school. Right? So he's not lured into collecting stuff from people when he's in school. I will also encourage parents to please do well. When your child says, Mommy, I want biscuit, try. No matter how small, try. Give them these biscuits. Give them the biscuit, even if it's one piece. Let them have a feel. So that they are not forced to asking their friends for biscuits and sweets. Those are the little articles that Kankanwa was using to initiate others during our days. These children, I'm telling you, I would be like 18, but they were still like 3 and 4 years. But they were initiating themselves like that and committing serious mayhem, killing adults. Killing adults. A couple of people will say, this story is not adding up, or this story is fiction, or is not true. But I'm telling you, it's the truth, too. Because the amount of people they called that they killed actually died. For real. They actually died. And they died in the most mysterious way. Isia Wadaha for 24 hours. Not knowing that these children have been killing them, pressing them, killing them, pressing them, killing them, pressing them, until one day we just hear this person died. When the person. Nothing. Absolutely. They just, hey, man, I don't want to remember that scenario. Like I'm remembering the faces of all the people that died, courtesy of this story that I'm talking about. And it just making me really feel somehow. So parents will be careful what their children eat. Ask questions. Ask the teachers, what was given to my child today in school? That way you can balance their meal. Yeah, that way you will be able to balance their meal. If they ate, know the food timetable, you know, of the school. That way you are able to balance their meal. Not when on Monday, you know, rice is in every home. So on Monday morning, every child goes to school with the rice. And when they get to school, they are not supposed to eat rice at noon. They are supposed to eat swallow or eat beans or eat something else. You must be sure that they are eating right and balancing the meal right, so that you don't end up giving them rice in the house. They get to the school, they eat the rice, maybe jollof, and then at noon they are eating another rice again. That doesn't make sense to me. So balance their meal, give them a snack, give them a drink. Possibly, I don't give money. I give a snack, I give water, I give a juice, a yogurt, then I give food. Because it looks like it's only foodie that they now become. They go and eat and enjoy themselves and come back and say, what did you learn? A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3. Read for me. ina actually ego na achwe ha. Oh, ihe kwuru ka na-eme. So yes, the only thing that made me further believe in this particular incident whilst growing was the outcome of what I saw during a burial of my neighbor again in Katako when my mom was selling banana. Because it was when they gave birth to me that my mom stopped selling banana and faced the restaurant business squarely. So my mom was giving me a story of when she was still selling banana and how Sammy, one guy, Sam, died. It was just the same neighbor like this. The guy died. And when they traveled to Asaba to go for his burial, the people refused that he didn't die ordinary and insisted that something has to be done to ascertain the cause of his death. Something has to be done to ascertain the cause of his death. And behold, my mom said they went for that burial. Jidenna, come here, come. And when they went there to ascertain the cause of his death, they made ozuone ekuoku, ama ozuone ekuoku. Like what my mom was trying to say is the dead person was made to speak. Not speak verbally, but speak through nodding of head. So the mother makachukum binite ba go problem with that. Let me have. Let me have. Go. Ngwa, go. Go from here. Ngwa na gaga. Ngwa, hold your mouth. Hold it. Ngwa, sorry. I don't want noise. When I say I don't want noise, don't make noise. So when they made that corpse to speak for itself, they lined all the people whom they were suspecting, the entire family members, whom they were suspecting would have been the person who killed the guy. And after everybody went to that coffin to go and ask Samuel, he had children, or between 6, yes, children. So my mom said everybody went. So there's this woman who was older, Mama Angelina, that's what we called her. She was the first wife before Sam's mother. When they now summoned Mama Angelina, thinking it was Mama Angelina who killed Sammy, behold, it wasn't Mama Angelina who killed Sammy. So, Mama Angelina, who was once a witch, acknowledged that yes, she was once one, but had retired as at the time. Retirement. Nothing person no go here. You know? So when we now were thinking, my mom said they were thinking that Nza will catch Mama Angelina. You just go here. That Nza will catch Mama Angelina, and behold, Nza did not catch Mama Angelina. People were shocked and surprised, that thinking that it was going to be Mama Angelina that the thing will catch, because they know her practically to be a proper witch. But as at the time, we didn't know that she had retired. This woman doesn't have any teeth in her mouth, but she eats meat like crazy. I swear, when she comes to my shop to buy food, she would buy food with ano, ano na aboneto. She eats only nsala soup. So she doesn't eat food made with ede. It was then that I now realized that most of the markets in Asaba do not even sell ede. So if you want to buy ede, you need to travel to Onitsha to go and buy ede, you know. Otherwise, it's not working. So I need to see whether this is really talking or not. Hold on. You need to travel to okay, it's talking. Okay. So when they now said it was Mama Angelina's turn to come to Samuel to ask whether she was the person who killed him, according to my mom, she now came, stood at Samuel's head, and called his name because she had a pet name for Sam. She said, Sammy, Nadi, Nwam, what's no more meiji no no boa? Biko, Gwawa. Gwawa mo bumu mei, iji dina no boa. Eri ma amosu bezioku. Mana eri siga ma amoso, ose amosu. Kandi amosu, ejina mwa made we balisi onwam. Mana wa cherikota no bumu meiji dina no boa. Biko Sami Nadi Sami Nwam Gwawa mobumu me iji dine n'obwa. They said the Ozu Simba. When they now summoned courage to say Kedonye phone at the family, and it was only the mother of Samuel that was remaining to come to the dead body to ask the same question that Mama Angelina had asked. The mother of Samuel now refused to come. The Dibiana thought that were there were saying it has to happen. Everybody, before they started, that they said it was everybody who was going to come and do the same process until the entire family finishes. So it was remaining her to come. So she was refusing that she they said no, when only say no but you have to go and check. It has to happen just the same way we all agreed at first. They now lured the madam. She now came to her son's coffin to ask the same question that every other person had asked. They said, slap, eh? That is it. She ran mad there and then, according to my mom. From there, the woman ran mad straight away. And ran mad and left the scene, and that was how they buried the Samuel. Finished the burial. In fact, my mother said she came back from that burial, and for 1 week, she couldn't contain it. Her head, she couldn't sleep, she couldn't do anything for like a week. You know, when you see American Wonder in action. So, what am I also trying to say? Witchcraft. You would see a lot of people who had 3, 5 children. A lot of people would say they went here and they said it's their mother. They went here, they say it's their father. They went here, they say it's their brother. They went here, they say it's their sister. We do not agree to such fallacy. Sometimes we think it's fallacy. Other times, believe me, it is true. Jidenna, let me have. Let me have it. In a hand. Stand up and go. Get it again. Sorry. So other time you will now realize that people will say, how can it be your mother? How can it be your father? How can it be your brother? Who's killing you? You would see some people, their family, 2 people are not gelling. You don't know the reason why they are not gelling. There are some hidden truths in some families that when you hear, you will be shocked and surprised what's happening there. And there are some parents who have used their children for so many times for different reasons. And people will not even believe it. that it is their parents who is using them or are using them for replacement of some certain kinds of promises in their various covens. So yes, things like that happen. So at least I've given you 3 good stories of how this happens and tell you for sure that it does happen. It's just that half the time when you leave the vicinity, you tend to say it doesn't happen anymore. When you leave the vicinity, you won't be seeing it, so it will not be happening again for you. For instance, having left Jos and come into Enugu and lived in various places, I've never heard nonsense kind of talk. You would see that things like this happen according to the location where has been dogmatized for it to happen. In your house here like this, you will lie down. So when you are in a vicinity where stuffs like that happen, you will know that really it does happen. But when you leave the vicinity of where stuffs like that hardly happen, you will forget about it and even forget that it ever happened. So you would remember where you're coming from and where you're headed. And you would remember some things that have happened in the past and how it happened. Then you will ponder, how did this happen? Was this thing happening for real, or were they just playing with our heads? Because that was what prompted me to doing this video. Was this thing happening for real, or were they just playing with our heads? Okay, if I say the woman who was using Samba to catch those witches, if I say it was fiction, how about my neighbor Kankanwa, who was also killing a couple of people? Then how about Hawa, who was always the biggest cat at night, and during the day she's normal, and she will acknowledge to you that she is. At night, when if you beat her up during the day, at night she will turn into a cat and she will attack you anywhere. Once she sees you passing, that cat must attack you, must scratch you. And during the day, the next day, she will tell you how far. Shebi, you beat me up during the day, and at night, Shebi, I showed you whom I am. Next time, try me again. I swear. So Hawa was also a pin in our ass. So if you think you look for trouble, you will not even look for trouble around Hawa, that lady. She was a lady. We were so small. But Ejimanya, I'm not so small. We were small, yeah, but I'm not so small. I wasn't so small. I was up to 13 to 15 years. So it was clear I could be very retentive with that. How about Hawa, who we knew as at then was a proper witch? And during the day, normal. But at night, to the point, to the point that that cat, when you call it Hawa at night, the cat will really say and turn. Was that also a coincidence? You know, a lot of things happened during the child growth that really hasn't left my mind. And sometimes I just sit down, soliloquize, and then start chuckling and laughing. And I thought it wise that parents, again, need to be watchful whom their children meander around with, whom their children play around with, whom their children eat from, whom their children drink from, whom their children play with. Sometimes you see your child will come out and say, "Mommy, this person scratched me. Please look at the scratch. Know what it is. What did they scratch you with?" These children are so wise. They talk. What Mommy, was used? I saw just moving my clothes and she scratched me. Okay, Kutoku scratch after he was going now. So we must really pay attention. I hope these things, please share to other parents so that they will understand the story very clearly. If there are some parts of this story that you think you need to ask some questions about, online, you can just chat me up privately and ask the questions so that I can use a voice note, yes, to explain it further to you. Is important. I'll use a voice note to explain it appropriately. But Obukwama Ihade Ifede. My name is Ozie Ejiofor. Have a wonderful Monday and peace out. Share, follow, like at Ijele Solid on all the social media platforms. I would love it. I have my page, I have my 2 handles. Anyone you follow through, I will be happy. I have my YouTube page, Christiana Oziome Ejiofor. If you click the notification button, I will be happy as well. I have my Instagram at Ijele Solid. I have my LinkedIn, Christy Oziome Ejiofor at Ijele Solid. I have every other social media platform, TikTok at Ijele Solid. So peace out, guys, and have a wonderful Monday.